I greet you, wielder of the Gauldur Blackblade. It seems that you are, just like me, tired of waiting for the next Elder Scrolls game, and that means that you are watching the right video on a worthy channel. GameHub greets you. Yes, you. Because right now, I will tell you all about the new and interesting info about this game. My channel is very young, so I would be very happy if you leave a like, a comment, and I would especially appreciate it if you subscribe. And so we begin. Open World of TES 6. At the beginning of December 2020, Todd Howard gave another interview. The developer said that he doesn't reckon the size of the world to be a sign of a good game, thinks that going after it simply for the fact of it is not the best goal. According to him, it's much more important to fill the locations with interesting places and quests. He also noted that he wants to see a more immersive world that will actively react to the actions of the player. What do you think? What is more important? Huge, empty locations, or small locations that are filled with content? Personally, I prefer the second option. And since, according to the management of Bethesda, the size doesn't matter, the dreams of the fans about big cities will most likely stay just that, dreams. The cities in the Elder Scrolls 6 are unlikely to be bigger than Beauclair, the capital of Toussaint from The Witcher 3 Blood and Wine. Of course, we can't be absolutely sure, as Todd Howard regretted that settlements in Skyrim were pretty small. At least those who suffered from a huge amount of loading screens can rest assured the creators are promising to make maybe not the biggest, but a seamless world. Moreover, you will even be able to enter houses without any loading screens. That's a real revolution for Bethesda games. The setting of TES 6. Way more interesting is the region in which the events will unfold. Bethesda hasn't given any exact information on this topic yet. At the same time, the developers gave us some clues in their New Year's tweet. At least, that's what the fans think. And so we have a map of Skyrim with several lamps on it and a text saying, "Transcribe the past and map the future." The clues were way too apparent, and the gaming community easily put everything together. The first lamp is placed near Solitude, the capital of Skyrim. The second, outside of the map, so the fans concluded it to be a false clue. And the third one is placed in Hammerfell. And with that, the fans think that's exactly the region we're going to visit in the next game of the series. If you haven't heard anything about this land before, then have a quick reference. Hammerfell is a province in the west of Tamriel, bordering Skyrim, Cyrodiil, and High Rock. Around 3,000 years ago, most of that land has gone underwater due to a cataclysm. Most of the inhabitants of Yokuda ran to the continent, where they began to seize the lands and enslave the people, the Netties. Brigada, and that's how the race of the invaders was called, began to adopt more and more of the traditions and religion of the Netties, and with time they even forgot their native tongue. In the Second Era, the region was taken over by the Empire, but we won't dive into the local feuds. It will be enough to just say that the hostilities continued even after the Oblivion Crisis, up to the Fourth Era. That's exactly when the land was recognized as an independent state. If the hints are true, we will have to do quite a bit of mountain climbing, as Hammerfell is characterized by its mountainous terrain. Also, a pretty big chunk of the area is occupied by the Ellicor Desert. Pretty much all of the big cities and fertile lands are located by the coastline. There is another theory that fans have that originated back when the DLC Dragonborn for Skyrim came out. One of the players has noticed that if you use the game console and move to the south, you'll be able to find an imperial city with the white gold tower. And if you move to the east, you can find the red mountain from Morrowind. That information became a cause for talk that the studio is making 2 expansions at once, one about Morrowind and one about Cyrodiil. It turned out that Dovahkiin will go to Selstham Island, located in Morrowind. However, the mountain had no relation to the new location. It turned out that developers created huge objects from neighboring provinces so that from a bird's eye view, the edges of the world wouldn't look cut off. After that, the gossip became that Cyrodiil will be the region in which the events of the next game will unfold. Characters and story of TES 6. And concerning the main character, there is no information at all. Nonetheless, there are a bunch of fan theories based on content from previous games of the series. A couple years ago, a Reddit user began a discussion about how important race and gender should be in the Elder Scrolls 6. He was bothered that playing as a girl Dumner has almost no effect on gameplay, and that's when the world of Skyrim is racist and Dumners are pretty much their main target. Let's remember the previous games of the series, Oblivion and Morrowind. The consequences from choosing a race were quite a bit more noticeable. The players felt that Bethesda absolutely has to rethink interactions with NPCs. For example, if the quest giver is suspicious of the protagonist's race, you will have to earn their respect before you can begin the quest. It would be nice if the world reacted harder to the main character. For example, many people were upset that the world didn't really change after you finished the main story of The Elder Scrolls V, where almost no one out of non-main story characters recognized Dovahkiin. And about the plot of TES 6, there's absolutely nothing we know, other than the fact that it will include political intrigue and magic. Nothing new for the series. Gameplay of TES 6. That said, the story of TES 6 is unlikely to be the main course. After all, in projects like this, it's way more interesting to just explore everything around and look for something new. We know for sure that we will have random events generating around the protagonist. We could witness a theft, thugs can kidnap someone we know, something will always happen around us. In short, we will always have something to do other than the main questline. The developers promised to give special treatment to magic. Bethesda decided to drastically change the aspect of it compared to the previous game, leaving useless skills behind. That's where we should thank the creators of add-ons. Their work is what Bethesda promises to be guided by. We also know that TES 6 introduces a weapon modification system. Now you'll be able to change the length and weight of your sword for more power or change how your armor looks. Let's not forget about replayability. I wonder how many times our viewers have played through Skyrim. Yes, Bethesda never had issues in this regard, but it seems that in TES 6, the studio wants to achieve a new height. One of the main objectives of the developers is adding systems that will react to the style of the playthrough. Well, we'll see it when it's there. Engine. After quite a problematic release of Fallout 76, all issues related to lagging, optimization, and netcode were blamed on the Creation Engine, on which the game was developed. The roots of this engine go through the entire series of the Elder Scrolls and new Fallouts up to TES 3, Morrowind, which came out back in 2002. As a result, the engine has many serious limitations, which were discussed even before Fallout 76 came out and are still discussed today. Those include physics tied to the frame rate, outdated graphic effects, inability of adequate realization of vehicles, hello to train heads from Fallout 3, and several more bugs that migrate from one game to the next. And that's despite improvements constantly being added to the engine. And we wouldn't worry about this if the aforementioned Todd Howard didn't say that Starfield and The Elder Scrolls VI will be using a modified version of the same old Creation Engine. And if we talk about Starfield, then according to what insiders say, the engine unusable for the genre is really hindering the development. Vacancies. New vacancies on Bethesda's website could be pointing to the fact that the developer is finishing work on Starfield. First, they were noticed by a Reddit user. The company is hiring programmers that are able to work on highest level of development of RPGs for PC and consoles, and help with realization of new gameplay features, player and character behavior, battle mechanics and abilities, user interface, etc. TES for everyone. We can rest assured that the game will come out on PC, Xbox Series X, PS5, including older generations of the consoles. It would be very surprising if Bethesda limited itself to just one platform, as such decision could be compared to suicide. We are sure that players will be able to enjoy The Elder Scrolls 6 regardless of the platform they choose. The only players to worry could be the owners of Nintendo Switch, but come on, it's Todd Howard. Also, at this moment, we can find what kind of hardware you will need for future gameplay. The Elder Scrolls 6 System Requirements. On the internet, we can find the description of the hardware we'll need for future gameplay. Release date of TES 6. And at last, a couple words about the release date. We wouldn't count on such an ambitious game coming out in a couple of years. Possibly, we will see a gameplay trailer in 2024, but the release won't happen before November 2025. Well, not rushing the release of an important project is a wise decision. Surely no one wants another Fallout 76 or Cyberpunk 2077. Serpent Fighter, thank you for your valuable subscription. And for the coolest dragon vanquisher, there's a link to my Patreon down below. Let the force of 1,000 car stags be with you. Let your right arm be strong and your left swift. I await you in the next video.